I was so wrong. I got it completely wrong. Because what the animals were saying is not, I don't grieve. I'm not grieving. I was cutting them off before they were finishing. They were saying, I don't grieve like you. I'm not grieving like humans grieve. And once I finally understood this and really got what they were saying, it actually changed my entire view of the animal afterlife and how animals handle grief and what their expectations are and what their needs are. And it changed how I support people and their animals when the people and the animals have lost somebody. We'll also cover what not to do when an animal is grieving, because that's really important. And I want to share with you what the animals have shared with me. And we're going to cover what to do in several different ways if you have an animal that's grieving, and how, when you do what the animals want you to do, it actually helps you in your grief process as well. So there are two ways that we're going to talk about that animals grieve. Now, the first way is the common way, the way that most people understand, accept, and expect. And that is, first, the physical way. At the physical level, animals are missing their companions. They're missing their physical reality. They're missing touch. They're missing the everyday routine. This is how we as humans usually perceive grief to be. And it's really hard. And it's especially hard when we as humans are kind of like telling a story in our head about what they must be feeling and how it must be for them, etc., because we know what it's like to miss our beloved pet who's crossed over. So that physical way is not new to you. This is what you already know. But that physical way is also softened from how we experience it as humans because of the other way. Okay, I just want to jump in real quick and say one thing about this before we get to the second way that animals grieve. How humans grieve is very physical world focused, right? We spend all this time missing them, thinking about, I used to give them dinner and we used to go for walks, or we used to sit here on the sofa. We know the physical way so well. So you could probably align really easily with exactly what I'm talking about with that physical world. However, we as people tend to stay pretty stuck in only the physical. And then we hope maybe for some signs, but we spend our time missing purely the physical. This is a big difference, as you're going to find out. And the other way that animals grieve and the other way that animals handle their grief and their missing feeling is through their connection with the animals at the soul level. So at the soul level, the animal, your grieving pet who's here, is actually still connected with their friend on the other side. Now, whether that is an animal companion or a human companion, there's still a connection there. Because animals are so much more connected with the other side than we are, and because they don't need to do the work that we need to do to be connected with the other side, they still are in connection with their beloved one who crossed over. So this means they can still see them. They can still talk with them, play with them, interact with them, feel them. They just can't physically touch them. There's no physical piece going on. But because they have that connection, they're not as cut off like we are. Like, how many of you have missed a pet on the other side and you just feel like, I can't talk to them, I can't touch them, but also I can't talk to them, I can't connect with them. You want that part. Well, the animals that are still here, they have it. They have it with their animals and their humans that have crossed over. So because there's still that connection, and this is what I'm always talking about for us as humans, that we can continue our relationship with our pets once they've crossed, because they still have that, it does soften your pet's grief. It doesn't take it away. It just changes it a little bit because they have that connection going on. Just got to jump in again because I know what you're going to say. I am not saying that our pets don't grieve the physical. That's what I used to think when I first became an animal communicator, because I was misunderstanding what they were saying. I am saying they do grieve in the physical world, and it's really, really hard
However, there is a softening, a slight difference to it because of the other type of grieving and connection they have. So don't go commenting that I'm saying they don't grieve. I'm not saying that. And I'm also not saying they don't feel and there isn't suffering and loss. It's all there. It's just different because of their other connections.
Now, there's another way that animals grieve as well. And this is the one that's misunderstood. And this is the one where people, they make the mistake, and it's a totally totally normal mistake because we're humans and this is how we think. But the person makes the mistake here, and it actually sets off or back their animal's grieving process. So your animal that's still here is super, super connected to you and to the humans in the house. And if you, as the human, are grieving, if you are, which is really a common thing, avoiding actually the animal that's still alive because it hurts your heart too much, or you feel like you're cheating on them, or the one who's crossed over, or you're in a depression, or you're, all the things that we do as humans when we're grieving, our animals, because they are intuitively connected to us, they are connected to us at the soul level. Like they are in here, right? They get us, they feel it, they know it. It's all part of them as well because they're so connected to us. If you're in that state, a lot of the time your animal will take on that state as well. They feel it. You're depressed. This is depressed energy. Okay, so they're reacting to your depression or your grief. I am not saying you shouldn't grieve or feel depressed or any of that stuff. What I am saying is a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that their pet's grief is all their pet's own grief. But often we are putting our stuff on top of that because the animal is taking it in, the animal is feeling it, the animal is experiencing all of that. And so we think, like, if I make up a scale, that the animal is grieving at a level 9. Really, they're grieving at a level, say, 4. But they're also feeling and interacting and responding to our grief. So that's kind of a hard one, right? Because what's your natural thought is, I'm not going to grieve. I'm going to pretend. I'm going to be okay, right? Around my pet, so they can be okay. But this isn't what it's about. That's not what they want you to do. So we're going to talk for a moment about what not to do. We're going to talk more about what I just started talking about, and then we're going to talk about what to do. And I also wanted to say, and this is a weird thing, I don't like saying it, because I know that we as human beings really want to do everything that we can for our pets. And so if we realize that our grief is affecting them, what do we want to do? We want to go into, well, I'm going to make myself not grieve, and I'm going to be happy around them. I'm going to fake it until I make it. It doesn't work. Your pet's intuitively connected to you, so faking it till you make it literally just makes it worse. So no faking it till you make it. You have to be honest about what's really going on with you. The other thing not to do I think that a lot of people end up saying, well, my pet's grieving, I'm going to get him another friend. I'm going to get her a friend. Whether they lost a human or they lost another animal, a lot of people think, well, we just need another one in place. However, first of all, your one on the other side, whoever's on the other side is not going to be jealous of that. That's not a concern, and I have plenty of videos about that. But the animal that is here will give you signs. The universe will open it up. It will make it clear and obvious, hey, now is the time. So if you're just going into fix-it mode, you're not going to be paying attention to what really needs to happen. And replacing their companion isn't necessarily what that animal needs. It could be, but it isn't necessarily. So that jump to do that, you have to do some other things first before you can really know for sure if it's right to get another animal.
So let me clarify. There will be a right time to bring another animal into your life or another partner or whoever it is. But know that that time will be right for both of you. Your animal that's grieving does not expect you or want you to sacrifice your own well-being because it seems like the time is right for them and that's what they need. Our animals don't want us to behave that way. You have to trust that there's more going on here that maybe you're not seeing. And so you trying to fix everything isn't gonna cut the mustard. We're not fixing, we're grieving, we're observing, and we're connecting, and we're knowing that there is a bigger plan going on. So you will know when the right time to bring that animal or human is into your lives for both of you. That right time for both of you is.
The other thing not to do is not to baby them. Now, humans, we love when somebody's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And they talk to us like this, and we feel so supported and like they're really watching out for us. Doesn't often work that way for animals. A lot of the animals that I'm connecting with as an animal communicator, they want to have their normal life, whatever their normal life is, or they want to be together in connection. But what they're not looking for is to be looked at as a victim or poor baby, because that's us putting them in a smaller energy. They need to go through their own grieving process just like we do. And if we're doing that, we're kind of like smushing them down. We don't want to be doing that. Okay. I have a lot of videos on the other side, so be sure to hit subscribe. And I actually want to say this is a really cool thing. You are here because you have an animal that passed, or you're dealing with this, the grief, and you want messages and you want signs. What's a great way to open a pathway to maybe getting a sign from your pet? It would be hitting subscribe to open up a little pathway so that the animals can like ping you my video or give you a reminder or something. They actually do use technology, and I do have a video on that I'll link to in the description. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what to do. And what to do is a little bit different. And then we'll get to actually a deeper level of what to do, kind of a fun thing of what to do. So it's really important that you acknowledge where you are in your own grieving process. Yes, your pet lost somebody, and you also lost them as well. So like I was just saying, you can't pretend that you're fine, but you also want to be honest and truthful with your pet about how you're really feeling in this moment. If you're feeling sad, just say to them, I'm really sad. It's okay. You can just say it that way. They want that transparency. It actually helps create connection. So that's a really big one. I think that a lot of people will just stay inside their head, and they'll kind of go through the motions while they're going through their own grief, but they won't kind of reach out for connection, not total leaning on the animal that's still here. What works better is connection. So it's kind of like, when you call your friend and you say to your friend, "Oh, this bad stuff happened," and da, 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 and the friend is tired at the end of that phone conversation. We're not looking for that. We're looking for calling your friend saying, "I am just having a hard day today. I just need some love right now," and your friend says, "Hey, I'll come over and put my arm around you." That kind of thing. It's different. It's connection. It's emotional connection, and they love that. It doesn't mean you have to not be grieving. It doesn't mean you have to be in this perfect emotional space. What it does mean is you're being transparent about whatever's going on with you, which, think about it, in life always creates connection. The next one would be, you have to look at what you're capable of doing in your day, because you're grieving too. Yes, your animal is grieving, but pushing yourself to take them for extra walks when you can barely get out of bed, and you're like, but they need 4 walks a day. Pushing yourself to be heroic for them is not going to work. So you really need to look at what can you handle in this moment? What feels doable to you? What might even feel connective to you? And then tell your animal about it. Share it. Literally, like, say, "I cannot do 2 walks today, but we're going to go on this walk today." Or, whatever the thing is, we can't go for a ride today, but tomorrow I've planned it out. I've made space, and I'm looking forward to doing that with you. Be honest and truthful about what you can handle. And you know what? You can't handle some of the things, and that's okay. And then last, and this is like so important, you and your pet have lost a human, or they have lost another animal. This means that your entire routine has changed. That person is no longer there, or that that animal is no longer there. And that means how you do your day is different, and how your animal does their day is different. So one of the most healing things when you're ready for it is creating your new normal, creating the new way. Now, it may be the new way in this month, and then as you move through your process and your animal moves through their process, it's new again in another month. But you have to construct your new life together.
Okay, wait. I know you're hearing me say you got to construct your new life together, but you can't construct your new life together until you're actually ready. So just be sure that you're not pushing yourself thinking that you're hurting your animal who's grieving because you're not ready to fully construct your new life together. It's not a timeline thing, it's an integrity thing, it's an honesty thing. So you have to be true to you while also knowing that when the time is right for you to begin doing a little construction here and a little construction there, your animal will be ready as well. And the two of you can work together. But you have to do it on the timeline that works for both of you. Don't push it.
It's so important to you and the animal who's still here to find your own things. The animal that's crossed over, or the human that's crossed over, they're not going to be upset that you're no longer doing this, or you're doing this now instead, or you're doing this without them. Again, that's not a thing for them. What is a thing is finding the new way together. And that means being connected emotionally, spiritually to the animal that's still here and who is grieving, and noticing, well, what's working, what's not. You know how when somebody dies, what happens? The animal starts behaving differently, right? Things happen. And so now you have to watch, well, what does it mean? Well, now that my alpha cat is not here, my dog is behaving totally differently. And the roles are different, and how we interact is different, which means the things that might have been really cool to do before, no longer cool, or maybe cooler. So this is about you becoming aware of what's happening in your relationship and consciously creating. The last cool, I don't know. I think it's really cool. So remember in the beginning when we talked about how your animal that's still here has this deep, cool, wonderful soul level connection to the human or the animal that have crossed over. And so it does change their physical grieving experience a bit from what we have, because we don't have such a strong connection to the world of spirit. You can actually watch your animal that's still here to see when they're interacting with the one who's crossed over. You can also, and this is really cool, you got to feel like, all right, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to try this thing. You can also say to your animal that's still here, hey, I know you still connect with them. Let me know. Show me when they're around. I would love for us, the three of us, to feel like we're together again, or I'd love to watch you in that moment. It connects you to your animal that's still here, and it lets them know how accepting you are, and you feel that emotional connection. And at the same time, it brings the three of you together. But you got to be comfortable doing it and talking to your animal, talking to your pet, and then you gotta not be going, it's a coincidence. Is this really it? Is it not? I don't know. You can't go down that road. You just gotta, I have a friend, and he said he had to learn Japanese, and he had the hardest time because the Japanese, people who spoke Japanese, they couldn't understand him. So he said, I just had to pretend like I was Japanese in a play. And so same kind of idea here. You've just got to pretend I'm in a play and I'm saying this to my animal and I'm cool with it. It will actually help them and help you be able to know when they're showing you that your loved one is around.